A lot has changed in my life. There's one day that I can never forget. The day everything shifted. The day I learned the truth. My husband had been unfaithful to me, and I discovered it, standing right at my doorstep on a cold winter morning. That moment felt like the world crumbled beneath me. It all started early in the morning. My daughter was home, playing with her friend upstairs. My husband was at work. I was home alone. Then, the doorbell rang. It was the security guard from our building. "Ms. Danes is here," he said. I didn't recognize the name right away. Who's Danes? I thought to myself, but then it hit me. An old acquaintance. But why would she be here this early? I was about to open the door when my phone rang. It was my husband. "Hey, babe," he said, sounding cheerful. "What's up?" I was thinking we could take a weekend trip. Just the two of us, to Nice. What do you think? I smiled to myself. That sounds perfect, honey. I'll call you in a couple of minutes. I was about to hang up when suddenly, the doorbell rang again. It was the woman, Danes. She had arrived. But just as I reached for the doorknob, my phone rang again. It was my husband, sounding frantic. "Please, don't open the door. I'm on my way home. Don't open it. I swear I'll explain everything." My heart dropped. I froze, my body trembling. I peered through the peephole in the door and saw a woman I didn't recognize. She was standing there, waiting. In that moment, everything felt surreal. My daughter called from upstairs, asking, "Mom, who's here?" "Just some deliveries, sweetie," I replied, trying to sound calm. I don't even know why I made the decision I did, but it was like an instinct. I couldn't let this stranger in. My heart was pounding, but I was determined. I refused to open the door. My husband kept calling. "Please, don't do this. Just wait for me. I'm almost there. Don't open the door, please." I slammed the phone down and sat down, waiting. And then I heard her. The woman outside started yelling. "I told you last night. I'm here to tell her everything. You think I was bluffing?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My mind was racing. My marriage, everything I had built with my husband for over 16 years, was collapsing before me. The woman kept shouting, "Come on, Ake, open the door. Let me give you the receipts, the gifts he bought me. You'll need this if you decide to go to court." I don't know what came over me. My anger, my pain, everything exploded. I was shaking with rage. I grabbed the papers from her hand and slammed the garden door shut in her face. I told her if she didn't leave, I would call security and the police. She left. My husband arrived shortly after. When I saw him, I didn't feel anything like the man I had fallen in love with at 19. He wasn't that man anymore. He was just a stranger. He begged me. He cried. He fell to his knees. But it didn't matter. Nothing mattered anymore. My heart was stone cold. The man I thought I knew, the man I trusted, was gone. I kicked him out of the house. For days, I didn't talk to anyone, not even my closest friend. I told my daughter her father was on a business trip. I locked myself in my room, thinking, how did this happen? How did I end up here? I was angry at him. I was angry at myself. I hated that woman. What was I supposed to do now? Should I leave him? Should I try to fix this? I didn't know. My husband was relentless, constantly apologizing. But I couldn't bring myself to listen. Could someone who betrayed you so deeply ever truly change? One night, in the midst of my grief and anger, I decided to call the woman. I needed answers. "You owe me this," I told her. "You're going to tell me everything, from A to Z." We talked for over 5 hours. She cried and begged. "Your husband loves you so much. He left me because of you. He couldn't do this anymore. Please forgive him. Please. I felt a deep sadness, but also a flicker of understanding. I hated her for what she did, but I also knew she was a part of a bigger mess. The truth was, I wasn't sure what I wanted. By the morning, I had made my decision. I called my husband home. I couldn't just throw it all away. I didn't know what to do with the love I still had for him, even though I had been shattered. When he arrived, I saw him holding our daughter tightly. He looked broken, desperate, and I was lost. I didn't know if I could forgive him. We went on a trip, just the two of us trying to heal. But every time he tried to touch me, I pulled away. I couldn't. How could I? A few weeks later, things seemed to be getting a bit better, but I was still haunted by what had happened. I thought I could move on, but the past lingered, and then came the phone call. My friend called. Ake, I saw your husband with her again. I didn't know if I should tell you, but I had to. That was it. I couldn't keep living this lie. The man I once loved was gone. I went upstairs, packed his things, and told him to leave. I filed for divorce. It took 3 long years, but finally, in June, we were officially divorced. Do we still talk? Are we friends? No. After everything he put me through, even though I had never cheated on him, he tried to file a false adultery case against me just to drag things out, but the court rejected his claims. I won the case. This is my story. People can change, but sometimes they change in ways you never expect. I once loved this man, but now he's just a memory.